Hello YouTube, Happy Christian here, and today's video shouldn't be a very long one because I think it's a pretty simple subject. So the question I'm going to ask right now is, should politics and religion go together? Is it a good idea? And I'm going to tell you that some of you might not like what I have to say about this, but if I let that stop me, then I wouldn't be making this video. So here's the deal. I think Jesus is the example that all of us need to follow if we call ourselves Christians, right? This YouTube channel is called Happy Christian. A Christian is one who follows Christ, who lives his life for Christ, who has a relationship with Christ, who appreciates what Christ did for him. That's a Christian. And another aspect of that is he is our example. Jesus is our example. So I'd like to ask every one of you listening to this video a very simple question. How often do you read about Jesus getting into politics? Can you think of any? I can't. I can't think of one single time where Jesus made real political statements about the people of his day and the election results and what would happen if this guy became the emperor or president or whatever. I don't ever read it, and if I have, I forgot. I don't remember a single time. Do you? And yet, how often, when you listen to Christian radio, do you hear political things being talked about? Does that mean it's wrong to talk about political things? Not necessarily. Everything has their place. Uh, if you're someone who votes, then it's a good idea to put your name behind somebody who you're confident speaks well for you and what you believe. But is it possible to make an idol out of it? Is it possible to put the politician on a higher pedestal than even our own Savior? Could that happen? Is it possible to hear the words Donald Trump more often than Jesus Christ in a Christian comment section? Is it possible to hear the words capitalism versus communism or socialism more often than Jesus in some discussion Christians are having with other people? Am I saying that those things don't matter? No, they do matter. We know, for example, that different kinds of government seem to have different levels of freedom, and that some forms of government are less free than other forms, oftentimes. At least the way that it gets played out, anyway. So, I'm not saying this stuff doesn't matter, but what's more important? Praying about the thing or complaining about the thing? So many people seem to want to complain about the problems going on right now. They want to complain on YouTube comment sections. They want to complain on Facebook posts. They want to complain everywhere they can. That's fine. If you want to complain, go ahead and complain. But I think you'll get a lot more done and accomplish a lot more good if you pray about it sincerely to God in your prayer closet, wherever that is. Bring that to Him. Bring your anxieties to Him. Let Him hear about it. Put your faith that God is still in control, because God is still in control. There is no politician that can take away God's control. I know I say I'm not a predestination believer, at least not, the Calvinist type, but that doesn't change the fact that there are certain things God has said is going to happen no matter what. Jesus Christ is coming back no matter what. It doesn't matter who's president. It doesn't matter who the Pope is. None of that stuff matters. Jesus Christ is coming back again for the second time to earth, the second coming. And nobody can stop it. Nobody. So, I guess the question I'd like to ask all of you is, why are you so worried about it? Do you trust God? Do you trust Him that he has total, complete control over these things, and that if you are surrendered to him, the only things that can happen to you are what God allows to happen, like with Job. That doesn't mean Job had it easy. Satan got in some pretty good shots against him, but God had his back. God never forgot Job, and God doesn't forget his people. So yes, it may seem like we're in some tough times right now, but it can get a lot worse. In fact, let me tell you guys something. You know, when Peter talks about how we're supposed to relate to our government, how we're supposed to be good citizens, we're trying to be obedient to our government as much as we can, all that stuff, right? Think about the government Peter had to deal with when he wrote that, right? His government was so much tougher to deal with, if I understand my history right. Christians getting thrown to beasts in a coliseum. I'm not saying Christians get a very good rep these days in our country, in America, or even anywhere in the world, but at least we're not getting thrown to in the coliseum, if you know what I mean. So we have a lot to be thankful for even nowadays, and we still have a responsibility as Christians to preach the gospel. Are we going to let these political struggles, whatever you want to call it, scruples, stop us from preaching the gospel? Are we going to let these things distract us? Yeah, we're going through a pandemic right now, and that's not fun, but is a pandemic stronger than God? Are we going to let a pandemic scare us into forgetting about the gospel and only worrying about COVID, and all the other stuff going on, the political stuff, whatever else? Fellow Christians, and even those who are not Christians, I ask you, please, don't forget God, because he hasn't forgotten his people. And I'd like to encourage every one of you watching this video that rather than spending all your time with politics, give some, maybe even all of it, to God. Because God can actually do something about it. You can't, Donald Trump can't, Joe Biden can't, nobody can. Joe Biden's just a president. That's all he is. All Donald Trump ever was a president. It's a wonderful office, and they deserve our respect, but they're not God. Anyway, I thank you guys for taking the time to listen. Happy Christian out.